Hey, welcome to Firescale Audiobooks. If you enjoy our audiobooks, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also, feel free to share your review in the comments section below.
A porter's life. Water. Now, Arnold's employer, a guild warrior, barked. Arnold, a porter for a first-tier guild, rummaged through the enormous bag on his back. "Yes, sir," he replied, his voice soft and subservient. He quickly handed bottles to the warrior and the guild's tank, a massive man named El. Arnold's own throat was parched, but he stood by, silently hoping for a handout. Porters weren't allowed to use the guild supplies without the leader's permission. El, the warrior, noticed Arnold's desperate gaze. "You want something?" he sneered. "Kind sir," Arnold said, bowing low. "We have been in the dungeon for a long time. My own supplies are gone. Would you have some water to spare?" "Oh, great sir." The warrior chuckled, feigning thought. "Here, take this." Arnold looked up, hope in his eyes, but instead of a bottle, a glob of spit landed on his face. The entire party erupted in laughter. "Oh, kind sir," the warrior roared. "He actually thought I was going to give him something. This is hilarious." This was a daily occurrence. Arnold, a former millionaire who had lost everything, had grown accustomed to the humiliation. In this new world of dungeons and superhumans, the strong ruled, and the weak, like him, were less than stray dogs. He silently wiped the spit from his face with his tattered robe and retreated to the back of the group. "What are you standing there for, you moron? Start gathering the beast crystals," a female mage in expensive armor shrieked. "Yes, ma'am," Arnold responded, hacking at the fallen monsters with a rage that wasn't his own. He channeled his frustration into the dead beasts. Arnold endured this life for one reason: his younger sister, Nicole. 5 years ago, their family was wealthy, but a dungeon in Shanghai killed their parents. Their uncle, a snake in a suit, seized their fortune and left Arnold and his sister with nothing. They moved to America, hoping for a fresh start, but tragedy followed. A mysterious epidemic swept the continent, and Nicole became infected. The epidemic granted extraordinary powers to some survivors, rendering the military obsolete. In their place, guilds and corporations rose to power. When Arnold was tested, his ability barely registered as an E-level. No private guild would hire him, forcing him to take a job as a porter in a government guild. A job with low pay and endless humiliation, but one crucial benefit: free medical treatment for Nicole. He would endure any indignity for her sake. The final boss room. "Yo, porter, we're going deeper. Light the way." The African-American mage, Lance, shoved Arnold toward the front of the group. "Don't worry, Allison," Arnold said to the team's healer. "I'm used to it." He took out a handful of glow sticks and threw them into the darkness. The path ahead was strewn with broken stones, animal remains, and strange, moss-covered crates. At the end of the passage, a massive metal door with countless strange, untouched symbols blocked their way. "Did the door just change?" someone asked. An enchanted dungeon. The warrior, El, practically drooled with greed. Enchanted gear was incredibly rare, and the money they could make would be immense. Arnold, hoping to avoid a deadly encounter, offered a suggestion. "I think we should inform the guild leader and form a bigger party, just in case there's a monster in there." "Shut up, porter. We're not listening to a useless moron," Lance snapped. The party leader, Ricardo, agreed with Lance and the other tanks. "Mages, undo the enchantment. Open the door." After 10 minutes of chanting, the door slowly creaked open. Inside, a dim, bluish light emanated from glowing moss on the walls and ceiling. Arnold, ever the opportunist, scraped some of the bioluminescent lichen into a jar. Nicole loved shiny things, and since he couldn't afford presents, he made them himself. As the team entered the chamber, Arnold slipped out, as was his custom during a fight. A sound echoed from inside the room as something began to move. The team prepared for battle, and a minotaur appeared. Arnold, his job done, left them to it. He noticed a smaller, second door next to the main chamber. "What if the enchanted gear is in here?" he thought, his heart pounding. All his problems could be solved. He could finally leave this terrible job and give Nicole the life she deserved. He turned on a glow stick and entered the small, dark room. Inside, a single wooden cabinet held a collection of books and scrolls. As he picked one up, his eyes widened. Tomes and ability books. Even better than enchanted gear, these books were worth a fortune. A single one could fetch 25 times his monthly wage. He counted 7 tomes and 9 ability books. He carefully tucked every single one into a secret pocket in his backpack, knowing the guild would check his belongings later. He had just hit the jackpot. Lady Luck was finally on his side. He just had to wait for the raid to finish. The cost of a moment's rage. Dang it, I thought there'd be an enchanted gear in there. After all that trouble, EL complained, raking his hand through his blonde hair. All because of this stupid porter who jinxed it, Lance said, kicking Arnold in the back. Arnold stumbled and fell, but instead of lashing out, he quietly got up, rubbing his back. Don't get mad, he murmured. Arnold became the punching bag for the group's frustration. He endured the low pay, the mockery, and the constant threat of having his wages docked. He was paid only 100 modern dollars per dungeon trip, with the government guild finding endless excuses to deduct money for lack of proper work etiquette, not wearing guild-approved gear, or simply being poor. As the party emerged, they were swarmed by reporters and fans. A young reporter named Nancy Williams rushed toward EL. She was known for being charming and sneaky, willing to do anything for a story. How cute, she said to EL. Our sources say you got your hands on some enchanted gear. Is it true? Your network is fast, but your information is wrong, EL replied with a shake of his head. Arnold, hoping to escape the scene, was suddenly pulled into the spotlight. This gentleman is the reason I work so hard, EL declared to the camera, pulling Arnold close. I've always had an urge to help the poor and defenseless, to be their shield and sword. This world isn't for us, but for people like him. EL then handed Arnold $20, a daily publicity stunt. He pushed Arnold aside and continued his interview, but the crowd was not fooled. What an ungrateful piece of crap, someone shouted. EL gave him money, and he didn't even thank him. No wonder people like him don't get help, another person added. They don't deserve it. Fucking immigrants, a third person yelled. Something inside Arnold snapped. He threw the $20 at the crowd. You think you know how it feels? Take it. You cheap pieces of crap, he snapped, his face contorted in anger. The crowd and the cameras were stunned. No one expected this from a porter. Arnold simply walked past them all toward the guild manager. A steep price. The guild manager, Martis, smirked. 7 glow torches are missing, but you only used 6. $15 will be deducted. And because you caused a scene on camera, your daily wage has been decreased to $80 per trip, and you're suspended for a week without pay. Arnold bit his lip. He had caused a huge mess. After all the deductions, he was left with only $55 for the day. He quietly took the money, but he was relieved. The guild had no idea about the true treasure he had hidden in his backpack. He changed his uniform in an alley, trading his tattered gear for a formal shirt, jeans, and cheap sneakers. He couldn't let his sister, Nicole, see his true status. In her eyes, he was a key member of a top guild. He deposited his backpack at the hospital counter and went to see her. Hi, Nicole. Miss me? He said, mustering a smile. Brother, she said, her face lighting up. He sat by her bed and told her a heroic version of his day, a story where he was a brave warrior in the dungeon. She smiled and laughed along until the disease, Andrea's syndrome, sapped her strength and she fell asleep. There was no cure, only expensive drugs that slowed the process. After leaving the jar of luminous moss he had scraped from the dungeon for her, he headed home to his small shack. An unexpected discovery. Once inside, Arnold drew the curtains and pulled the books and tomes from his bag. He had to be quick and quiet. He first looked at the ability books, which were more valuable. These are all elemental magic, he thought, noting the books on ice, light, and shadow. He couldn't learn them. He wasn't a high enough rank, and he lacked the affinity. His E rank was a useless mark. He was just going to sell them anyway. He then moved on to the tomes, which could grant affinities. He was excited, but his excitement turned to dread. All the scrolls appeared to be empty. Damn it, I should have known my luck, he muttered. But as he was rolling one back up, he got a paper cut. A few drops of his blood fell onto the scroll, and it began to shine brightly. Arnold was momentarily blinded, and when he could see again, he was floating in the air. A voice resonated in his mind. System initializing. A sentient being found. Race, human. Affinity, none. Strength, weak. Power level, weak. Specialties, none. Rank E. Blood pack form. Welcome, Master. Flabbergasted, he demanded answers, but the system simply responded, configuring the system to suit the user. Learning boosted. You can now learn new affinities. Arnold looked at the scrolls again. They were no longer empty. He picked up the nearest one, and a message appeared. You've picked up Water Affinity Scroll. Do you want to learn Water Affinity? Yes or no? Yes, Arnold said, a malicious grin spreading across his face. Request acknowledged. Learning. Successful. You've successfully acquired Water Affinity. You've unlocked new abilities. Poseidon's Blessing. Passive ability. Your HP will be increased by 100 points when you level up. Rank B. Essence of Life. Active ability. After being used, you'll instantly gain half of your HP back. Further, it'll increase by 10 points/minute for the next 5 minutes. Rank B. Mana cost. 80. The scroll disintegrated in his hand. He then picked up another one. You've picked up Wind Affinity Scroll. Do you want to learn Wind Affinity? Yes or no? Yes. Request acknowledged. Learning. Successful. You've successfully acquired Wind Affinity. You've unlocked new abilities. Static Rage. Passive ability. After successfully inflicting damage for 5 times in a row, the 6th attack would deal plus 35% of physical attack as additional true damage. Rank B. Rapid Flash. Active ability. After being used, you'll instantly gain 10% of agility, AGI, hence increasing your movement as well as reaction speed to superhuman levels. The skill lasts for 2 minutes and slowly decays over the next 5 minutes. Rank C. Mana cost. 30. Then, another message appeared. 2 basic elemental affinities found. Would you like to merge the affinities to learn and advance elemental affinity? You wouldn't lose any ability you've learned so far, and you'd be able to learn their respective abilities in future as well. Proceed with advancement? Yes or no? An advanced level affinity? Hell yeah, I would. Arnold thought, his mind racing. Request acknowledged. Combining. Successful. You've successfully acquired Ice Affinity. You've unlocked new abilities. Elemental Control. See, active ability. You can conjure a field of ice and can control it as you wish. It can be used to slow down your enemies, to make weapons. You could do anything you want. Rank A. Mana cost. 60/per use. Icy Veil. Active ability. After being used, your surrounding is immediately covered in mist and fog, lowering the accuracy, ACC, of your opponents while increasing your evade, EVD, by 10 points. The skill lasts for 10 minutes. Rank C. Mana cost. 35. Arnold's attention was now fully on the ability book for ice that lay on his desk. He had to learn what was inside. You've picked up a level Ice Ability Book. Scanning for abilities. Scanning for abilities. Scanning for abilities. 3 compatible abilities found. Do you want to learn the above-mentioned abilities? Yes or no? Underscore. Stop asking these questions and do it already. Arnold couldn't contain his excitement anymore. For the first time in his life, he was feeling accomplished and powerful, as if he was addicted to this feeling. Every time he learned an ability, his body felt refreshed, like a weird but soothing aura had covered him. He continued, learning new abilities for the night. The next morning, it'll be suspicious if I suddenly have various brand new affinities. If anyone discovered the truth, who knows what the council would do to me? They'll definitely take the ability books for a start. I should sell what I can, but I shouldn't go to the official guild-approved merchants that might cause some trouble for me. Thankfully, I know a couple of traders from the black market who'll be willing to help me out. Arnold thought. He then got up from the bed, grabbed 4 ability books, including the one which had ice abilities, and got ready to head outside. When he was about to open the door, another message popped up. Daily quests. Getting stronger 1. Introduction. You are undernourished. You need to consume more calories. Task. Consume food items to gain 3,000 calories. Progress. 0/3,000 calories consumed. Getting stronger 2. Introduction. Your body has low resistance towards abnormalities. Increase your physical and mental resistance. Task. Exercise for 2 hours. Run 3 kilometers and stay in plank position for 5 minutes. Progress. Exercise duration in hours 0/2. Running in km 0/3. Plank duration in minutes 0/5. Rewards for completion 50 EXP. 3 attribute points. 2 potential points. Penalty for not completing the quests. Minus 25 EXP. Minus 20% debuff on all stats. Debuff will be active till tomorrow. You can view your stats by opening the main interface. __. This keeps getting weirder. Whatever, I'll check it out later. First off, I need to sell these books and then head to the hospital. Good thing I got suspended from the guild. Now I have lots of free time. Arnold headed towards the black market, the place where the traders operated. Not a single respected person from the society ever entered the alley known as Everberry Avenue, which made it a perfect place to do illegal deals. Everything was available in this place, from weapons and armors to bio-enhancement and slaves. One could buy anything they like as long as they have sufficient money and resources. It was the perfect place to secretly sell ability books. Hey, Jacob, how's business? Arnold asked the shopkeeper of the shop. Hey yourself, midget. What do you have for me today? Jacob replied. Jacob looked like a pirate out of the Pirates of the Caribbean. He only had one brown eye, the other was covered by an eye patch. He had a tan complexion. He wore his curly light brown hair loosely about the shoulders. He always wore a pair of long trousers, a tunic with short sleeves, and a pair of sandals. He had quite a number of scars on his face and was especially known for his unusual beard. A warm welcome, as usual. I see. Here, take a look at these. Arnold dumped everything on the counter. A couple of beast crystals and, ho ho ho, Christmas came early this year. Jacob's eyes were shining with greed when he saw the ability books. What type of abilities do they have? Earth, wind, water, and ice. Okay, I'll pay $30 each for the crystals, $800 for the earth, wind, and water ability books, and $3,000 for the ice one. Jacob said, stroking his beard. $50 for the crystals, $1,100 each for the basic ability books, and $4,500 for the ice ability book. You can easily sell the ice ability book for $6,000 or more. Given Jacob's appearance, many people would think that it'll be difficult to deal with someone like him. But in reality, all one had to do was to act tough, and sooner or later, he'll give up and agree to buy or sell at your price. And Arnold knew all about it. What do you think it is? A daylight robbery. That's the price. Take it or leave it, Arnold said, and started gathering the books one by one. Damn it. All right, I'll take it, but for $4,100 for the ability book. Even I have to earn some profit here. Deal. With its 7,500 modern dollars in his pocket, Arnold headed towards the hospital. He could finally buy another dose of medicines and drugs for Nicole. He reached the hospital, paid $5,000 for a small dose of Andrea drugs, and headed towards his sister's room. Seeing that Nicole was fast asleep, he caressed her head for a while. Soon the doctor and a couple of nurses came to inject the medicine in her body. After it was done, Arnold headed back to his flat. He usually took the bus to get to the bus stop near his home, but this time he decides to run instead. The distance from the hospital to his flat was more than 3 kilometers. This he could easily complete one of the tasks, but he wanted to get some food first. After all, he needed to have some calories to burn them, right? He went to a cheap roadside restaurant and ordered 2 double large patty hamburgers with extra cheese and fries, which cost him around $13. This was the reason why he picked a roadside restaurant. They were cheap and the food was full of calories. After he finished eating the hamburgers, a notification popped up. Getting stronger 1. Introduction. You are undernourished. You need to consume more calories. Task. Consume food items to gain 3,000 calories. Progress. 1050/3000 calories consumed. It actually works. After seeing the notification, he wanted to eat more, but he was doubtful if he'd be able to run 3 kilometers after that. In the end, he decided to pay for the food and leave. I never thought running 3 kilometers would be so tiring. Arnold was standing, having his hands on his knees, and was breathing heavily. Getting stronger, too. Introduction. Your body has low resistance towards abnormalities. Increase your physical and mental resistance. Task. Exercise for 2 hours. Run 3 kilometers and stay in plank position for 5 minutes. Progress. Exercise duration in hours 0/2. Running in km 3.57/3. Plank duration in minutes 0/5. Additional agility point has been added. You can view your stats by opening the main interface. I should check the stats while in resting. He just thought, and the main interface opened up in front of him. Enemy, Arnold Ling. Title, None. Level, 3. Rank E. Special skill. Affinity, Ice, Wind and Water, Earth. HP, 130 of 130. Mana, 120 of 120. EXP, 0 out of 100. Strength, STR, 10. Stamina, STA, 11. Intelligence, Int, 10. Agility, AGI, 11. Accuracy, ACC, 9. Evade, Evade, 8. Charisma, CHA, 5. Abilities, Essence of Life, LVL, 1. Poseidon's Blessing, LVL, 1. Static Rage, LVL, 1. Rapid Flash, LVL, 1. Elemental Control, I see, LVL, 1. Icy Veil, LVL, 1. Elemental Summoning, Frost Golem, LVL, 1. Frozen Lance, LVL, 1. Elemental Control, Earth, LVL, 1. Will of Earth, LVL, 1. LVL, Max, Status, Locked. Just 5 Charisma? Ouch. Looks like I went overboard on learning abilities as well. I better be careful from now, or else someone might get suspicious about it all. Arnold said, studying the interface. There are some hidden skills as well. I wonder what it's about. You can unlock those skills by leveling up or by achieving a specific condition/requirement. That solves one problem. I assume you're not going to tell me what the conditions are, right? Arnold asked the system and waited for a reply, but nothing happened, so he carried on with completing the daily quests. Daily quests. Completed. Getting stronger, 1. Introduction. You are undernourished. You need to consume more calories. Task. Consume food items to gain 3,000 calories. Progress. 3109/3,000 calories consumed. Getting stronger, 2. Introduction. Your body has low resistance towards abnormalities. Increase your physical and mental resistance. Task. Exercise for 2 hours. Run 2 kilometers and stay in plank position for 5 minutes. Progress. Exercise duration in hours 2 halves. Running in km 3.57/3. Plank duration in minutes 5/5. Rewards for completion. 50 EXP. 3 attribute points. 2 potential points. Claim rewards. Underscore. Claim, Arnold said, grabbing a towel to wipe the sweat off him. You've gained 50 EXP. Current EXP, 50 out of 100. You've gained 3 attributes points. You've gained 2 potential points. I pretty much know what the attribute points are for, but how do I use the potential points? Underscore. Attribute points can be used to increase your stats. Potential points can be used to either level up your HP/mana or to level up your skills. Underscore. I've got a passive that increases HP every time I level up, so using potential points to increase HP would be a waste. However, I don't know whether the mana would increase as I level up as well. Arnold was in deep thought about what to do with the potential points he had when another system message popped up. Since no molding abilities are found, which can increase your mana, the system will use the standard increasing rate. Standard mana increase, 100 per 5 levels gained. But that's way too slow. I wouldn't be able to use my skills freely this way. He complained, but none of his cries were heard. I need to find one of these molding abilities which can increase the mana. But till then, I'll have to keep using potential points to increase the mana. Seeing no other way to increase the mana, Arnold decided to use a potential point to increase his mana. One potential point used on mana. Mana increased by 100 points. Current mana, 220. I should level up some skills as well, but then I have so many skills that I want to level up. He opened his skill list and analyzed the listed skills. So far, the only S-rank ability I have is Elemental Summoning, Frost Golem. According to the description, when this ability is used, it summons 4 Frost Golems, and these can be used for a variety of uses. This looks good. He then used the last potential point he had to level up the ability. One potential point used. The ability, Elemental Summoning, Frost Golem, has been upgraded. Elemental Summoning, Frost Golem, is now at level 2. I've got a week to level up my abilities. An evil smile appeared on his face. A week later, underscore, you've leveled up. Current level, 11. Your rank has been increased to D. You've achieved a new rank. Rewards. All stats, plus 10. You can view your stats in the main interface. Underscore. The reason he was able to level up so fast was because of the random side quests that the system kept on giving him. Mostly these missions were easy to accomplish and gave a high amount of experience as rewards. Open the interface. Although Arnold had already completed the daily quest, he was still doing push-ups because he had found a hidden function of the system which made his stats increase faster. He observed that if he carried on with the exercise, running, and other stuff even after the limit was reached, he could gain additional attribute points which were automatically added to some specific stats. For example, for every additional kilometer he ran, he got 2 points of agility. For every additional hour he exercised, he gained 2 points of strength, and he got an additional point of stamina for every extra minute he could plank for. Apart from these random gains, he also noticed at every time he leveled up, he gained 4 attribute points and 2 potential points, which he had saved till now and was planning to use them once he ranked up to D. Underscore. Name, Arnold Ling. Title, none. Level, 11. Rank, D. Special skill. Affinity, ice, wind and water, earth. HP, 930/930. Mana, 420 of 420. EXP, 0 out of 500. Strength, STR, 32. Stamina, ST, 30. Intelligence, INT, 20. Agility, AGI, 35. Accuracy, ACC, 19. Evade, EV, 18. Charisma, CHA 15. Abilities, Essence of Life, LVL 1. Poseidon's Blessing, LVL 1. Static Rage, LVL 1. Rapid Flash, LVL 1. Elemental Control, IC, LVL 1. Icy Veil, LVL 1. Elemental Summoning, Frost Golem, LVL 2. Frozen Lance, LVL 1. Elemental Control, Earth, LVL 1. Will of Earth, LVL 1. LVL, Max, Status, Locked. Attribute points remaining, 53. Potential points remaining, 30. After pondering for some time, he decided to be a mage since he had so many spells that can cause a high amount of damage to his enemies. So he used 20 attribute points to increase his intelligence to 40, as intelligence was one of the core attributes for mages. He added another 11 points to improve his accuracy to 30, 12 points to increase his evasion to 30, and the remaining 10 points to increase his charm to 25. To solve the issue of mana, he used 10 potential points to increase his mana by 1,000 points, and as for the abilities, he left it to the system. Use the remaining potential points to level up the abilities. Prioritize abilities first, then the ones having a higher rank. Be sure to upgrade every ability at least one time. He ordered the system. Underscore. Request acknowledged. Calibrating. After the successful allocation of points, your abilities will be as follows. Essence of Life, LVL 2. Poseidon's Blessing, LVL 3. Static Rage, LVL 3. Rapid Flash, LVL 2. Elemental Control, I see, LVL 3. Icy Veil, LVL 3. Elemental Summoning, Frost Golem, LVL 4. Frozen Lance, LVL 3. Elemental Control, Earth, LVL 3. Will of Earth, LVL 3. LVL, Max Status, Locked. Proceed with allotment? Yes or no? Underscore. Do it. He answered and got up to go and shower. Underscore. Your abilities have been upgraded. Underscore. He proceeded toward the shower, but then he got a phone call from the guild manager, who informed him about his disciplinary trial. Why are they so stressed about it all? Wasn't suspending me for a week enough? Saying that he was annoyed would have been the understatement of the year. Anyway, he had to go to the guild, so he took a quick shower with the same clothes he had when he went to meet Nicole and headed towards the guild. When he reached the guild, he saw the party he was a member of entering the guild headquarters. Most probably they were returning after clearing a dungeon because they were all wearing their battle gear. EL saw Arnold and started berating him in front of everyone. Since EL was like a golden child for the guild, no one tried to stop him except Alice, who said something to EL, and everyone quietly went inside the meeting room where Arnold's disciplinary trial was about to take place. Alice then walked towards him. She looked really beautiful in her white and black maiden gear. Her red hair complemented her green eyes and her fair complexion. She was also one of the only people who knew about his sister and even offered to help him many times, but Arnold always declined because he didn't want to shove his burden onto someone else. "Hi, Arnold," she said cheerfully. "Have you been working out recently?" "A little bit," he replied, scratching the back of his head. A tinge of red could be seen on his cheeks. "So you guys went to clear a dungeon?" "Yeah, nothing special, just a green dungeon that popped up close by." "That's cool. You guys are coming inside or not?" The manager shouted from the gate of the meeting room. After that, they headed quietly into the room. It was very dark inside the room, but several chairs could be seen being lined up next to each other. Several people were sitting on them and were waiting for Arnold to enter the room. The moment Arnold walked in, several lamps lit up. "Thank you for coming on such short notice, Mr. Ling." The man sitting in the middle chair spoke up. "I'm John Beckett, Vice President of the Flying Swords. Today you've been called here to discuss a couple of things. First of all, let's talk about the little stunt you pulled a week ago. I personally think you should be ashamed of your behavior, and you should apologize to EL and the others. But James, the guild manager, told me that you've already been punished for it, so I can't really do anything about it, and you can consider the problem to be over, thus you can join the guild and we're starting tomorrow. Secondly, and the main reason I've summoned you here, is regarding your sister and her treatment. Miguel, a warrior from your party, needs the facilities that the government hospital can provide, but sadly they cannot take even one patient who is suffering from Andrea's syndrome. So the higher-ups have decided that, since you're not worthy or as important as Miguel for us, we'll have to discharge your sister from the hospital so that Miguel's father can avail the faculty and treatment instead. We're sorry for the sudden announcement, but we won't be providing any kind of support to your sis Dash. You want to know my worth?" Arnold interrupted the vice president. "Sorry? Could you repeat what you said?" "I said, you want to know my worth?" Arnold calmly repeated himself. All of a sudden, the temperature inside the room started to drop and slowly got covered in ice and snow. Everyone was confused about what was going on. Everyone was shivering due to the cold, but the only one who seemed unaffected by the cold was Arnold. "I'll show you exactly what my worth is." A mysterious cold atmosphere spread throughout the room, and a group of black shadows came out of the ice below Arnold's feet. The height of the creatures kept increasing, and by the time they stopped growing, they were already about 8 feet tall. They simply stood there as if waiting for someone to give a command. Arnold opened his mouth to say something, but before he could, his face was pressed against the ground, and the golems were already destroyed. It all happened in an instant. Arnold tried to look up and see who it was, but his head was firmly pressed against the floor, so he couldn't see who was holding him down. "Dad, don't!" Alice shrieked, spiriting towards Arnold. "Alice, don't you dare interfere in this matter." The vice president replied. Then it hit him. The vice president was one as the 3S plus ranked warrior of flying swords. He was also known as John the Lightning Dragon Beckett, a 47-year-old frontline warrior. Most of his hobbies included watching theater and playing chess. His powers were second only to the guild leader. He was strong and intelligent, to say the least, but could also be very standoffish and a bit violent. "Dad, please let him go," Alice pleaded once again. "Fine, fine. But if he pulls another trick like that, I won't spare a moment to crush him like the insect he is," John said, finally letting Arnold go. Arnold got up and looked at the vice president. Physically, he was in pretty good shape. He is very tall with olive skin, golden hair, and green eyes. The same color as Alice's, but they didn't have a bit of warmth that hers had. "Are you all right?" Alice asked while healing the bruises on his neck. "I'm fine." He smacked her hand away. "The only reason I was staying in this guild was for the treatment of my sister, and since that's not the case anymore, I'm leaving the guild," he said, walking towards the exit. He had barely taken a step when the vice president spoke up. "About that, why don't the two of you have the duel? The winner would get the slot for the treatment," he said, before taking out a cigarette. "What do you say?" Everyone was shocked about it. Why would the vice president even suggest something like that? Even though Miguel was only a D-plus ranked warrior, he was still an important member of the team, and his family's well-being was more important than that of a mere porter. But John wasn't thinking about it anymore. For him, a mage having ice affinity was very important, as there was not a single mage who excelled in using ice abilities in the guild. It had always been a sore point for the guild's reputation, as ice abilities were always looked up to and were counted as one of the rarest elemental abilities. Thus, even though Arnold's abilities weren't really great, he could still be an asset for the guild in the future, and letting him leave like that would be a terrible mistake. And that's why he suggested the duel. "You want me to have a duel with a pipsqueak like him?" Miguel shouted. Even if he wasn't the strongest in his team, he was still way better than a porter. How can the vice president even suggest something like this? It was an attack in his honor. If he is a pipsqueak, you shouldn't have a problem with showing him his place, right? Don't tell me you're afraid you'll lose against him. John mocked him while enjoying the cigarette in his mouth. "Of course not. Let's do it then," Miguel said, slamming his fists onto one another. Seeing that this was his only chance to save his sister, Arnold immediately agreed, and everyone headed to the training room. The training room was especially large and was made of special material due that the room could stand the battle against superhumans. It was purely made up of self-repairing white marbles and ceramic, such that even if the walls got cracked, they could immediately repair themselves in an instant. Several platforms were surrounding the room, which acted as seats for spectators. Both Arnold and Miguel were standing in them at different corners of the room while the others were watching from the platform. "Crush the arrogant idiot, Miguel," EL shouted. Seeing him cheering on Miguel, everyone else joined in. On the other hand, Alice could only hope that Arnold would win, although she seriously doubted that he'll be able to. "Competitors ready?" The guild manager asked both of them, to which they nodded. "Fight!" Miguel didn't waste a second to attack Arnold. Miguel was one of the fastest warriors the guild had, and since Arnold wasn't wearing any armor, everyone thought he was done for. But in reality, Miguel's actions were extremely slow. It was as if something easy holding him back. Even Miguel was confused about it until he saw what had happened. The entire room was covered in ice, just like it was back in the meeting room, and hence his speed was slowed down. The others realized it soon as well. The pipsqueak mage had already activated his spell. They all looked at Arnold, who was calm and collected, and the next moment, 5 lances made of ice appeared behind him out of nowhere. Moments earlier, you've entered in combat with a less than D plus superhuman. Probability of winning, 38.54%. Rewards for winning, 1,000 EXP. Hidden reward, I don't care about the rewards. I'm doing this, my sister. He murmured and activated elemental control. I see, summoning a field of ice. With the amount of mana he had now, he could freely use his spells to suppress the enemy. Current mana, 1110/1370. Elemental control, I see, had a variety of uses, but its primary function was to slow down the enemies. After going into countless dungeons with Miguel and the others, he knew their strengths and weaknesses by heart, That's why he knew that if he wanted to win, he'll have to do something about Miguel's agility. Once this was accomplished, Arnold used Frozen Lance to summon 5 frozen lances to finish him off. He started throwing them towards Miguel one after another, but he managed to dodge them all even with his slowed agility. The others started cheering him on once again. Once he was close enough, Miguel leapt in the air, furiously slamming down his on Arnold, who in return once again used elemental control, Hissy, and raised a wall of ice to protect him from the blow. Miguel's sword managed to shatter the wall upon impact, but to his surprise there was a second wall behind the first one. But it wasn't made of ice. It was made of the earth. Everyone was as surprised as him. It was quite rare for a mage to be able to wield 2 types of elemental magic. This is interesting. The vice president smiled, stroking his beard. Arnold predicted that Miguel might break through the wall and hence used elemental control, earth, to conjure a second wall of earth behind the first one. Current mana, 920/1370. But Miguel wasn't done yet and jumped over the wall of earth and managed to kick Arnold on his chest, who got off-balanced and fell. He tried to get up as fast as he could, but Miguel was faster and kept attacking him with his sword and kicks. Arnold's HP started decreasing. He had wounds and bruises all over his body. He was getting wrecked. EL and the others were happy seeing Arnold's condition. Little did they know it was all according to Arnold's plan. Since Miguel was able to dodge his ranged attacks, he decided to lure him in instead and let him think that he was winning so that he would get overconfident and make some kind of mistake, and Miguel feel right in his trap. As soon as his health dropped below 20%, a message appeared in front of him. Your HP has dropped below 20%. The ability Will of Earth has been activated, increasing your defenses and making you invincible for 5 seconds. This was the thing he was waiting for. As soon as this message appeared, Arnold activated the ability Essence of Life to gain half of his HP back. Current mana, 860/1370. Miguel was shocked to see that the wounds he had given to Arnold were slowly healing back, as if nothing had happened to him at all. He frantically started swinging his sword at him, but then something grabbed his sword. He looked back and saw 4 giant-like creatures were standing behind him. He looked down at Arnold, who spat some blood out of his mouth. Current mana, 460/1370. Looks like it's the hunter's turn to be hunted now. Arnold nodded, and the 4 golems immediately started plummeting Miguel down like he was a mosquito. Everyone was shocked to see the sheer power displayed by the golems. Miguel was trying his best to defend himself, but he was failing miserably at it. The golems only stopped once Arnold ordered them to. Once their job was completed, they melted and became one with the ice around them. After the golems disappeared, everyone could see the status Miguel was in. Large chunks of his armor were missing. Even his sword was snapped in 2 parts. Numerous wounds were visible on his body. He couldn't even lift a finger. Everyone was silent. The silence was broken by the sounds of clapping. Everyone turned around to see who dared to mock their fallen comrade, but they couldn't do anything because it was the vice president who clapping at Arnold's performance. The kid has some potential after all, the vice president said. He planned on making Arnold the winner by secretly interfering in the duel so that the other won't be able to question him and he'll be able to make Arnold stay. But in the end, he didn't need to anything. EL and the others rushed to check on Miguel's condition. It wasn't critical, but he had 2 broken ribs. Both of his arms were broken as well, and his left shoulder was dislocated. Alice didn't waste any time and started healing him. Everyone else was shooting dirty looks at Arnold, but he didn't care. He would never compromise when it came to his sister's well-being. You successfully defeated a less than D+ ranked warrior. Rewards for winning. 1,000 EXP. Hidden reward. Claim reward. You successfully defeated a less than D+ ranked warrior. Rewards for winning. 1,000 EXP. Hidden reward. Claim reward. Underscore. Claim. Underscore. You've leveled up. Current level, 12. Rewards, 4 attribute points, 2 potential points. You've leveled up. Current level, 13. Rewards, 4 attribute points, 2 potential points. You can view your stats in the main interface. Please choose one of the following evolution paths as your hidden reward. Remember, the choice you make is irreversible, and choosing a certain path will unlock the skill tree for that path, which can be expanded by using potential points. Each path has some unique abilities and attributes, hence, make your choice carefully. Black Shaman. The Black Shaman is a mage who practices magic, which is offensive and dangerous. They also excel in the art of necromancy and black magic. The class also has the ability to wield non-magical weapons, like knife and daggers, and have various skills in the skill tree for this purpose. They're also called magic assassins. Cosmic creationists. They practice divination, which helps them predict future events or uncover hidden knowledge, which it often is. They also control magic creates faux life, including golems, simulacrums, and automatons. These class of mages are unable to wield any non-magical weapons, but have the ability to create magical weapons for themselves and can wield only these weapons. Battle Mage, a wizard who specializes in combat magics, usually employed by an armed force. Some can master large-scale magics that encompass the battlefield. These type magicians excel at head-on fights, as well as standard mage tactics. They can also use non-magical weapons, but the weapons need to be enchanted by an artificer. You have 12 hours to choose a path. Arnold took the system's advice and decided to take some time before choosing a path. After all, it was the first time he had been offered to make such a choice. He couldn't risk making a choice in haste and then regret about it later. He closed the interface. He saw the vice president walking towards him. That was quite a wonderful fight. He said, "As promised, we'll take care of your sister, and there's no need to move her out of the hospital." Arnold nodded in reply. "I'd like to discuss a few more things with you, but it looks like you'll be needing some clothes first." Arnold looked down to see that his shirt was torn from the places where Miguel had managed to hit him with his sword. Arnold cursed Miguel under his breath. This was the only shirt he owned, and now it has been destroyed. What the hell is he supposed to wear next time when he meets Nicole? That would be a problem. I don't have a second set of clothes. Arnold blurted out, and the vice president started laughing. "Don't worry, kid. The guild has got it all covered. Alice, could you show him the way to the armory?" He then turned towards Arnold and continued. "There are some sponsored clothes there. You can have them. I'll be in my office. Come there once you're done, and we'll have a chat." The vice president then turned and left without saying another word to anyone else. After she was done with healing Miguel's injuries, Alice approached Arnold. "Let's go," she said. "Lead the way." He replied, "So since when did you have ice affinity?" Alice asked casually. "For quite some time." "Then why we're doing a porter's job, if I may ask?" "Because my abilities weren't strong enough." "And suddenly they are strong?" "Not suddenly. I used to practice every day." After they had reached the guild's armory, Alice left Arnold inside so that he could change and waited outside while he changed. She wanted to keep quiet and wait for Arnold, but she couldn't. Even if his abilities weren't super strong, ice abilities were rare, and this made him special. No wonder her dad gave him a second chance against Miguel. She wanted to know more about the abilities and hence kept asking questions, and Arnold kept lying to protect his secret. "Why did you dash?" She was about to ask it another question, but before she could finish, Arnold walked out of the armory, sporting a full-sleeve black t-shirt having neon green stripes on the sleeves. The words "Flying Swords" were printed on the back with the same neon green stripes. The shirt was perfectly hugging his new muscles, even though he didn't have much. Arnold snapped his fingers in front of Alice's eyes. "You there?" he asked. "Yeah, you look good," she replied. Her cheeks had a reddish glow in them. "Thanks, but that's not what I asked." Arnold scratched the back of his head. "I asked if you could show me where the vice president's office was." Realizing what just happened, She got even more flustered and quickly turned around. Yeah, Jay, just follow me. Arnold did what he was told to, and they soon reached John's office. The door of the office opened, and Arnold saw the vice president sitting on the sofa with crossed legs, staring at him faintly. Arnold could not help but hold his breath. The room was filled with the vice president's overwhelming aura. Come sit. John offered Arnold a seat. Thank you. Alice, you can leave now. I'd like to talk with Mr. Ling alone if you don't mind. No problem, sir. I'll be on my way, Alice replied and walked out of the room, closing the doors behind her. I won't waste our time, so allow me to cut to the chase. He cleared his throat before speaking again. I'm amazed by your performance, Mr. Ling, and I'd like you to join our guild not as a porter, but as a warrior. The terms and conditions for it are written in this contract here. Feel free to read through it and ask any questions you have, he said, tossing a folder towards Arnold. Arnold picked up the contract and skimmed through it. It was a great contract. He would be paid around 8,000 modern dollars per week. He'll be given a new place to live, and the guild will take care of his daily necessities as well. All he had to do was to participate in at least 4 dungeons runs in a week and practice to improve his abilities under the guidance of the vice president himself. In short, the vice president wanted to make him his prodigy and an asset to the guild. It was like a dream come true for someone like Arnold. Is this for real? He looked at John, who smiled and nodded. The pay and other benefits would increase as your level and rank increases. If you sign the contract, we'll have to use the PRSD once again and determine your power levels before we can proceed with the training and other stuff. So do you accept the new contract? Arnold got lost in his thoughts. Accept the contract? Not like I have any other way to pay for Nicole treatment. I could try to join a new guild. With my abilities, it wouldn't be a problem. But the recruitment process of guilds could take many months, and I don't have the funds to carry on with Nicole's treatment during this time. First, I need to save money, and once I have enough money, I'll leave this Sure Asterisk Tie guild, and it's Sure Asterisk Tie people once and for all, but right now Nicole's treatment is my priority, and the vice president knows it well, this Basta Asterisk D. I'll teach you all a lesson soon enough, just you wait. Thank you for the opportunity, Arnold said and signed the contract. Thanks my ass. Welcome aboard. John extended his hand out and gave him a handshake, not knowing what Arnold was planning. Alice was waiting for Arnold outside John's office. She was wondering whether her dad was able to make him stay or not. She was about to peep inside when the doors leading to her father's office opened up and both of them walked out. Arnold couldn't look happier. Just as he was about to leave, he saw Alice and went ahead and told her about the good news. Even she was happy for him, as she knew about the hardships he had endured for the sake of his sister and from the money he'll get now. Nicole's treatment would be more effective. Just as they were happily chatting, the guild communicator on their wrist started vibrating, indicating there was a notification. They both looked at the communicator. They were urgently called for a dungeon mission. No details were given. They were simply asked to report near the guild's entrance. Emergency mission? Arnold looked at Alice, hoping that she'd know something about it. I don't know, but it should be something like that, she replied as they both rushed to the gate. When they reached near the gate, everyone else, including the guild manager James, was already present there. Everyone was already wearing their gears, but no one paid any attention to Arnold. He was an outcast, after all. Seeing that everyone in the 12-man team was already there, James started speaking. A blue dungeon gate has appeared near the Everglades. Since it comes within our territory, the mayor has requested us to kill every monster in there. The detailed report has been sent to your communicators. You can refer to it if you want more information about it, he said sternly and looked at Arnold. Since it is a new experience for you, and we don't have a spare porter right now, you'll continue as a porter and only observe for today. Of course, the guild had spare porters, but Arnold knew it very well that the guild master was forcing him to do the job so that he could humiliate him and make the others feel better by making him feel helpless. Everyone was laughing at him right now, especially El and Miguel. You just need someone to carry it, right? Arnold asked James. Well, that's what a porter does, he replied, smirking like the others. Even if the vice president had appointed Arnold as a warrior, they would never treat him like one. Great then. Arnold smiled. Everyone was confused at Arnold's behavior before they saw the creature standing behind him. It was a frost golem. If carrying the bag is the only thing to do, then he is perfect for the job, Arnold said, patting the golem on his back. No was smirking anymore. Arnold successfully outplayed everyone else. He ordered a golem to take care of the bag and the items. Everyone got into the vehicles provided by the guild and headed towards the Everglades National Park. Arnold was about to enter the park when a thought hit him. He hadn't picked a class yet. He quickly opened the Rewards tab, and after pondering for a while, he decided to pick Cosmic Creationist, class as it had the most useful abilities like foresight and weapon creation. You've chosen Cosmic Creationist class. Upgrading, upgrading, upgrading. Your class has been successfully upgraded. New functions unlocked. Shop, Forge. You have learned new abilities. Foresight, active ability. After using this skill, you can immediately see some broken version of future. However, this future is not certain and can change. The duration of the skill is 1 minute, and you can only use this skill thrice a day. Rank, A+. Mana cost, 200 per use. Probe, active ability. This skill can be used on any target such as items, weapons, monsters, humans, etc. When used, the user gains the ability to know about the level, rank, abilities, and some other basic information of the target. The information provided will be decided by the difference in rank and level of the user and the target. Rank D. Enhancement. Active ability. This is a type of support spell which can temporarily or permanently enhance. Depends on the user's level and rank, weapon, and gears. This buff can be used on both yourself and your allies. One item can only be boosted once in a day, and the duration of the buff varies from gear to gear. Rank B. Mana cost, 100 per use. It's a shame I don't have any gear to use the enhancement spell on. He looked back and saw the golem taking out the bags and carrying the necessities. Arnold had an idea. He walked back towards the golem, placed his hands in its chest. Underscore. You are using enhancement on LV12 Frost Golem. Enhancing, enhancing, enhancing. Enhancement successful. All attributes have been increased. HP 1,400 of 1,400. Strength STR 62. Stamina ST 50. Intelligence INT 20. Agility AGI 30. Accuracy ACC 30. Evade EVED 50. Buff. Level and rank of Frost Golem increased. Level 28. Rank C. Strength STR increased to 70. Duration. Temporary buff. Lasts for 2 hours. His guess was right. He could enhance the golems as well. He used the skill for the first time, and the buff received by the golem was already overpowered. Even though Arnold pretty much knew that with his current level, the enhancement wouldn't be a permanent one, seeing the stats of the golem made him crave for more. Golem had changed physically as well. He was taller and bulkier than before. But the most noticeable change was his 2 additional arms. Everyone who saw this only had one thing in their minds. Who the hell is Arnold? Not only did he have ice and earth affinity, but he could also use support spells. The person who was shocked the most was Miguel. After losing the fight, the only closure he had was thinking that at least he was able to push Arnold to give it all he had, but seeing him using support spells took away the little bit of closure he had. As he was staring at Arnold, Arnold was staring back at him too. Miguel suddenly felt uncomfortable and quickly averted his gaze. Little did he know Arnold was using his probe skill on him. After using the skill, a system message was shown in front of him. Name, Miguel Garcia, human. Level, 21. Rank, D+. Role, swordsman. Affinity, / abilities, basic sword skill. HP, 1150 / 1150. Strength, STR, 48. Stamina, STA, 42. Intelligence, Int, 31. Agility, AGI, 59. Accuracy, ACC, 40. Evade, EVED, 36. Charisma, CHA 28. Threat level, no threat. Remark, nothing special about him. Handling people of his level is a piece of cake for you / your summon. Underscore. We will now enter the dungeon. Make sure your gear is in proper condition and that you're prepared both mentally and physically. This is just a blue dungeon, meaning most of the monsters inside, except the dungeon boss, will be of rank C. At most, thus dealing with them won't be a problem. Ricardo, the party leader, roared at the top of his lungs. Everyone nodded and checked their gears once again. After checking his gear, Ricardo walked towards Arnold. Here, take this. It's a video device which sends the video feed to the guild server. And good luck for your first dungeon trip as a warrior. Thanks. Arnold took the small button-like device and pinned it on his chest. As Ricardo had explained, this device was used to record an individual's POV, point of view, inside the dungeon. This is how, if a guild's member discovers something, the guild would immediately inform the media houses about its discovery. Only warriors were given the device, as it was quite expensive, and who would want to see a porter's POV anyway? After setting up everything, they entered the dungeon. The guild members entered the dungeon one after another with Ricardo and other tanks leading the charge. The dungeon itself wasn't unique and had the standard structure that most of the dungeons had. The only odd thing was the crystals present in the walls which were illuminating the surroundings. As they moved further into the unknown, most of them were relaxed because their rank was above dungeon grade. But for someone like Arnold, who was at D or D+ rank, it wasn't that easy. However, Arnold could summon frost golems to save him if he needed, so it wasn't that tense for him. Wolves. Ashley, one of the 4 tanks, whispered after seeing a pack of 14 wolves roaming around. These were no ordinary wolves either. They could transform, and when they used this ability, their stats got a significant boost. But they got lucky because these wolves had blackish-brown fur, signifying that they were weaker than normal wolves who had gray fur and were kind of tough to deal with. Whereas the wolves having white fur were the most dangerous, because apart from transforming, they had other hidden abilities as well. Tanks take the position and aggravate the wolves. Mages be ready to attack. Yell, prepare, dash. While Ricardo was still giving orders to others, the wolf had already sensed them and were about to attack an unguarded mage who was standing further away from everyone else. Ricardo rushed to tackle down the wolf, but his speed was too slow. He wouldn't reach there in time. The mage also saw the wolf and was madly chanting defensive spells at herself. But the defense wasn't her strong suit, and everyone knew that. Just when the wolf was about to slash the mage with its claw, suddenly a wall appeared in front of her. The wolf couldn't lose its momentum, and before it could do anything, numerous spikes appeared on the wall. The wolf slammed hard into the spiky wall. The spikes penetrated the wolf's body at various places. The wolf whined in pain for a couple of moments before dying. Everyone turned around to look at the only person in their team who had the ability to manipulate Earth. "What are you looking at? Kill the rest of them." Arnold barked at the others. Alice smiled and went to check on the mage while the others dealt with the rest of the wolves. Arnold managed to kill 2 more wolves. He then ordered the golem to collect the crystals from the carcass of the wolves. Killing 1 wolf gave him 150 EXP, thus he was almost level 14. After the fight was over, the mage rushed over to Arnold. "Thank you for saving me. I was wrong about you. I hope you can forgive me," she said, her gaze fixed at the ground. She knew that the wolf itself wasn't high-leveled and wouldn't have been able to kill her, but then again, she didn't want to test the theory. "I just got lucky. Please be careful next time," he replied and walked away. After resting for a minute or so, they decided to venture deeper inside the dungeon. Soon they entered a clearing. It was a large room made of black and blue rocks. In front of them, There were 3 different passages. They had stopped there to divide the party into 3 so that they could cover more ground. Arnold was to team up with Alice, Ricardo, and EL. It was decided that the team which finds the boss room would immediately notify the others through the communicators and wait for the others to arrive. The boss was most probably of B rank, hence no one was to act on their own. With this, the teams parted ways. Ashley's team headed inside the passage on the right, while the team which Miguel was a part of head into the passage in the middle. Arnold's team went inside the left passage. Damn it, the communicators aren't working in here. Who knows what's happening with the others? Ricardo loudly cursed the dungeon. So far they had to fight 4 groups of monsters. Each of them was either of E or D ranked monsters, and hence were immediately dealt with. Arnold even managed to level up by 2 levels. But then all of a sudden the monsters stopped appearing. Although it was suspicious, it wasn't like they could do anything about it. Seeing that he had nothing else to do, Arnold decided to increase his attributes by using the saved up attribute points and opened up the main interface. Name, Arnold Ling. Title, None. Level, 15. Rank D. Special skill. Affinity, Ice, Wind and Water, Earth. HP, 1330/1330. Mana, 1470/1470. EXP, 320 out of 500. Strength STR, 33. Stamina STA, 35. Intelligence Sint, 40. Agility AGI, 35. Accuracy ACC, 35. Evade EVD, 35. Charisma CHA 25. Abilities Essence of Life LVL 2. Poseidon's Blessing LVL 3. Static Rage LVL 3. Rapid Flash LVL 2. Elemental Control IC LVL 3. Icy Veil LVL 3. Elemental Summoning Frost Golem LVL 4. Frozen Lance LVL 3. Elemental Control Earth LVL 3. Will of Earth LVL 3. LVL Max Status Locked. Foresight LVL 3. Probe LVL 2. Enhancement LVL 2. Attribute points remaining 0. Potential points remaining 0. He spent 5 attribute points each to increase his stamina, agility, and evade to 35 to increase his base stats to 35, and then allotted the remaining point into strength. As for the potential point, he used 3 points to increase his mana by 300. He then used the remaining points to level up Foresight to level 3 and Probe, and Enhancement to level 2. While he was playing around with the interface, a gust air blew inside the dungeon. He closed the interface and looked up at the far end of the dungeon. A faint structure of a door could be seen. They carefully made their way to the end. Due to old habit, Arnold grabbed a glow stick from the bag the golem was carrying and threw it towards the end. The glow stick collided with the metal door. They had finally found the boss room of the dungeon. Since the communicator isn't working, I'll go and inform the others. El, you're coming with me, Ricardo said and turned around. El grabbed him by the shoulder and whispered in his ear, I'm tired because of the walking. Take someone else. El said loudly and waved his hand. I can send my summons if you like. Arnold pitched in. Can they speak? El asked, sizing up the golem who was carrying their bag. Can you? Arnold asked the golem, to which he shrugged and shook his head. Then it's of no use. Alice, do you mind coming with me? Ricardo asked. No, of course not, but... She looked at El and then at Arnold. She knew El didn't like Arnold for some reason and wasn't sure about leaving him alone with El, but before she could say anything else, Ricardo started marching at full speed to get the others. She had no choice but to follow him. After a few minutes of waiting, out of boredom, Arnold decided to try and use his foresight skill just to get familiar with the skill. A mysterious aura surrounded him. It felt like his soul was being guided away from his body, and everything turned black before it turned to normal. The only difference was that he was now looking at himself from a third-person perspective. He saw himself standing near the gate next to his summoned golem when all of a sudden the door leading to the boss room opened and someone pushed him inside before hastily closing the door. The vision ended there, and he couldn't see who pushed him inside the dungeon, but it didn't require Einstein's brain to know who would have pushed him through the gate. The only person with him was El. After a brief moment, he returned to his normal self. He felt like he was experiencing déjà vu, and sure enough, the gate suddenly opened and El tried to push him inside. It was all happened too fast, and Arnold couldn't get out of the way in time. But he was prepared and managed to grab El by his armor, pulling him inside the room before the doors closed. "What the hell is wrong with you?" Arnold yelled at El, pushing him off himself. "The hell you mean, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? I just saved you from a dire wolf, damn it." El snapped back at him, brushing the dust off his armor. "So you did it too? Save me? But who opened the door then? How the F***CK am I supposed to know that? I thought you did it. If you didn't do it, then who did it?" Before they could talk more about what had happened, they heard someone's footsteps. They simultaneously looked at the far end. "You gotta be kidding me." Meanwhile, outside the boss room, "I told those idiots to stand by. Is it too much to ask?" Ricardo and the rest of the team just reached near the gate. All they could see was that the golem Arnold had summoned was fighting against 3 direwolves at once. These were the wolves having gray fur and were tough to deal with. The lifeless body of one wolf was near the golem's feet, while the 3 remaining wolves were ferociously attacking the golem. Seeing no other way around them, the team members charged at the wolves. The wolves were outnumbered and soon succumbed to the innumerable wounds. But the members weren't thinking about the wolves anymore. They were worried about the 2 idiots who were inside the boss room right now. They had all the right reasons to be worried as well, because the direwolves were rank B creatures, meaning the boss of the dungeon would at least be a rank A monster. Most of them were worried about El, because even if he was strong, he was still a B+ ranked warrior. They had almost no hope that Arnold would be able to survive. Seeing this situation, Ricardo ordered 2 of the fastest runners to go and inform the guild manager about the problem inside the dungeon, as he doubted that the cameras were functioning anymore, because if they were, the guild should have already sent the reinforcements. "The gates aren't opening." The mages fell helpless. "Let's hope they are okay inside the room." At this point, Ricardo could only hope and trust their strength. Inside the boss room, "Do something," El shouted at Arnold, while dodging yet another blow from the monster's scythe. "The hell you think I'm trying to do?" Arnold was frantically using his ice abilities at the monster. Well, he had used the probe skill on the 7 feet tall, black-skinned, humanoid creature. The result was something like this. Class: Undead Reaper. Level: Rank A. Role: Soul Reaper. Affinity / abilities: Soul Grapple, active skill. Dark Vision, active skill. Demon Blitz, active skill. HP: 4,870 of 5,000. Strength STR. Defense Def. Stamina ST. Intelligence Int. Agility AGI. Accuracy ACC. Evade EDD. Charisma CHA. Threat level dangerous. Remark: run for your life. The Reaper is coming for you. In short, fighting the Undead Reaper head-on was like chasing after death itself. But they didn't have a choice in the matter. They were locked inside the room, and the only way to open the door was to somehow defeat the Undead Reaper, a task they were failing miserably. But the rewards for defeating the monster were very rich too. Quests: The Undead Reaper. Introduction: You are under attack by Undead Reaper. It's kill or be killed. Task: Kill the Undead Reaper, having more than 45% contribution. Deal at least 2,250 points of damage to the Reaper. Progress: 80/2250 damage dealt. Rewards for completion: You've picked up a level Ice ability book. Scanning for abilities. Scanning for abilities. Scanning for abilities. 3 compatible abilities found. Do you want to learn the above-mentioned abilities? Yes or no? Underscore favor. Stop asking these questions and do it already. Arnold couldn't contain his excitement anymore. For the first time in his life, he was feeling accomplished and powerful, as if he was addicted to this feeling. Every time he learned an ability, his body felt refreshed, like a weird but soothing aura had covered him. He continued, learning new abilities for the night. The next morning, it'll be suspicious if I suddenly have various brand new affinities. If anyone discovered the truth, who knows what the council would do to me? They'll definitely take the ability books for a start. I should sell what I can, but I shouldn't go to the official guild-approved merchants that might cause some trouble for me. Thankfully, I know a couple of traders from the black market who'll be willing to help me out. Arnold thought. He then got up from the bed, grabbed 4 ability books, including the one which had ice abilities, and got ready to head outside. When he was about to open the door, another message popped up. Daily quests. Getting stronger 1. Introduction. You are undernourished. You need to consume more calories. Task. Consume food items to gain 3,000 calories. Progress. 0/3,000 calories consumed. Getting stronger 2. Introduction. Your body has low resistance towards abnormalities. Increase your physical and mental resistance. Task. Exercise for 2 hours. Run 3 kilometers and stay in plank position for 5 minutes. Progress. Exercise duration in hours 0/2. Running in km 0/3. Plank duration in minutes 0/5. Rewards for completion. 50 EXP. 3 attribute points. 2 potential points. Penalty for not completing the quests. Minus 25 EXP. Minus 20% debuff on all stats. Debuff will be active till tomorrow. You can view your stats by opening the main interface. This keeps getting weirder. Whatever, I'll check it out later. First off, I need to sell these books and then head to the hospital. Good thing I got suspended from the guild. Now I have lots of free time. Arnold headed towards the black market, the place where the traders operated. Not a single respected person from the society ever entered the alley known as Everberry Avenue, which made it a perfect place to do illegal deals. Everything was available in this place, from weapons and armors to bio-enhancement and slaves. One could buy anything they like as long as they have sufficient money and resources. It was the perfect place to secretly sell ability books. Hey, Jacob, how's business? Arnold asked the shopkeeper of the shop. Hey yourself, midget. What do you have for me today? Jacob replied. Jacob looked like a pirate out of the Pirates of the Caribbean. He only had one brown eye, the other was covered by an eye patch. He had a tan complexion. He wore his curly light brown hair loosely about the shoulders. He always wore a pair of long trousers, a tunic with short sleeves, and a pair of sandals. He had quite a number of scars on his face and was especially known for his unusual beard. A warm welcome, as usual. I see. Here, take a look at these. Arnold dumped everything on the counter. A couple of beast crystals, and ho ho ho, Christmas came early this year. Jacob's eyes were shining with greed when he saw the ability books. What type of abilities do they have? Earth, wind, water, and ice. Okay, I'll pay $30 each for the crystals, $800 for the earth, wind, and water ability books, and $3,000 for the ice one. Jacob said, stroking his beard. $50 for the crystals, $1,100 each for the basic ability books, and $4,500 for the ice ability book. You can easily sell the ice ability book for $6,000 or more. Given Jacob's appearance, many people would think that it'll be difficult to deal with someone like him. But in reality, all one had to do was to act tough, and sooner or later, he'll give up and agree to buy or sell at your price. And Arnold knew all about it. What do you think it is? A daylight robbery. That's the price. Take it or leave it, Arnold said, and started gathering the books one by one. Damn it. All right, I'll take it, but for $4,100 for the ability book. Even I have to earn some profit here. Deal. With its 7,500 modern dollars in his pocket, Arnold headed towards the hospital. He could finally buy another dose of medicines and drugs for Nicole. He reached the hospital, paid $5,000 for a small dose of Andrea drugs, and headed towards his sister's room. Seeing that Nicole was fast asleep, he caressed her head for a while. Soon the doctor and a couple of nurses came to inject the medicine in her body. After it was done, Arnold headed back to his flat. He usually took the bus to get to the bus stop near his home, but this time he decides to run instead. The distance from the hospital to his flat was more than 3 kilometers. This he could easily complete one of the tasks, but he wanted to get some food first. After all, he needed to have some calories to burn them, right? He went to a cheap roadside restaurant and ordered 2 double large patty hamburgers with extra cheese and fries, which cost him around $13. This was the reason why he picked a roadside restaurant. They were cheap and the food was full of calories. After he finished eating the hamburgers, a notification popped up. Getting Stronger 1. Introduction. You are undernourished. You need to consume more calories. Task. Consume food items to gain 3,000 calories. Progress. 1050/3,000 calories consumed. It actually works. After seeing the notification, he wanted to eat more, but he was doubtful if he'd be able to run 3 kilometers after that. In the end, he decided to pay for the food and leave. I never thought running 3 kilometers would be so tiring. Arnold was standing, having his hands on his knees, and was breathing heavily. Getting Stronger 2. Introduction. Your body has low resistance towards abnormalities. Increase your physical and mental resistance. Task. Exercise for 2 hours. Run 3 kilometers and stay in plank position for 5 minutes. Progress. Exercise duration in hours 0/2. Running in km 3.57/3. Plank duration in minutes 0/5. Additional agility point has been added. You can view your stats by opening the main interface. I should check the stats while in resting. He just thought, and the main interface opened up in front of him. Enemy, Arnold Ling. Title, None. Level, 3. Rank E. Special skill. Affinity, Ice, Wind and Water, Earth. HP, 130 of 130. Mana, 120 of 120. EXP, 0 out of 100. Strength, STR, 10. Stamina, STA, 11. Intelligence, Int, 10. Agility, AGI, 11. Accuracy, ACC, 9. Evade, 8. Charisma, CHA, 5. Abilities, Essence of Life, LVL, 1. Poseidon's Blessing, LVL, 1. Static Rage, LVL, 1. Rapid Flash, LVL, 1. Elemental Control, LVL, 1. Icy Veil, LVL, 1. Elemental Summoning, Frost Golem, LVL, 1. Frozen Lance, LVL, 1. Elemental Control, Earth, LVL, 1. Will of Earth, LVL, 1. LVL, Max, Status, Locked. Just 5 Charisma? Ouch. Looks like I went overboard on learning abilities as well. I better be careful from now, or else someone might get suspicious about it all. Arnold said, studying the interface. There are some hidden skills as well. I wonder what it's about. Your HP is being restored. Understood. Just one hit by the Reaper almost killed him. If it wasn't for the walls he had made at the last moment, he would have died for sure. His HP was being restored, but he wasn't being able to move. He opened his eyes. The Reaper was standing over him. The Reaper raised his scythe above his head and was about to slam it down on him. Arnold averted his gaze from his certain doom and looked at the golems. The 2 remaining golems were running towards the Reaper with all their might, but the distance was too much. They won't be able to reach in time. Seeing this, Arnold closed his eyes, thinking about Nicole. I'm sorry, he mumbled. Thump! As the Reaper was about to finish Arnold off, when a flash of red light appeared out of nowhere, severing the Reaper's arm and slashing him in multiple places. Why don't you fight me now? EL roared in rage. His eyes were burning red as if his body was made of fire. He continued slashing and stabbing the Reaper in multiple places, weakening him bit by bit. However, even after losing an arm, The Reaper was calm and wasn't bothered at all. He tried to pick up his scythe with his remaining left arm, but before he could, the B-ranked golem punched him in the face, knocking him off balance, and picked up the scythe instead. El wasn't done either. He kept slashing his sword at the monstrous boss. The battle came to an end when the golem finally managed to sever the Reaper's head with his own scythe. Arnold had his eyes open by now. He saw how El saved his life and how his golem finally killed the boss. He wanted to thank them, but he lost consciousness before he could. Back at the guild, what's the status? John asked his assistant, Maya. According to the latest report, both El and, what was his name? Maya responded, ruffling through a folder as she tried to keep up with her boss. Arnold, he replied. Yes, him. Both of them were still inside the boss chamber. How long has it been? Approximately 1 hour since they went inside. Cancel my appointments for today. I'm going to the dungeon. Yes, Sir Dash. Suddenly her communicator rang. She tapped the surface of her wristwatch and guild manager's holographic face could be seen floating above the watch. The door finally opened. El is unharmed, but it seems the new kid wasn't that lucky, he informed them. Hearing this, John immediately seized Maya's hand and ordered the manager to take him to the hospital. The manager nodded and cut the call. Tell the doctors to take care of him and not to worry about the money for his treatment. John said, got in his car and drove off, somewhere into the sunset. Moments earlier, Ricardo, the gate is opening. Ashley shouted all of a sudden. They did it. Everyone was dumbstruck. 1 level B and level D warriors killed a level B plus or higher level boss. Unbelievable. But Alice and Ricardo were concerned about the two and rushed into the room and saw the Reaper's headless body slumping down and disintegrating, leaving behind a red ruby-like crystal. 2 4-armed golems stood over at the far end of the room. El motionlessly stood next to them. They immediately ran up to them. Their hearts sank when they saw Arnold lying there. Alice immediately went to her knees and analyzed the situation. 7 broken ribs, fractured skull, punctured lungs. Bones in his right arm have been shattered. She mumbled, but he's healing on his own? The process was slow, but his wounds were slowly themselves. Only his right arm wasn't showing any signs of improvement. So she decided to use her abilities to fix it. Without wasting even a second, she immediately acted on it. Arnold's body tightened immediately, and large beads of sweat rolled down his body. He clenched his teeth, but a muted scream still came out between his teeth. The pain lasted for around 10 minutes before Arnold finally gained consciousness. He still had a head-splitting pain, but he was alive. A system notification was open on his interface. ___. Quest: The Undead Reaper. Introduction. You are under attack by Undead Reaper. It's kill or be killed. Task: kill the Undead Reaper, having more than 45% contribution. Deal at least 2,250 points of damage to the Reaper. Progress: 3059/2250 damage dealt. Status: completed. Rewards for completion: 10,000 EXP. 2 random items/abilities. Claim: bonus quest. Deal more than 60% damage to the Reaper. Deal at least 3,000 points of damage to the Reaper. Progress: 3059/3000 damage dealt. Status: completed. Bonus rewards. Hidden reward. Claim: ___. What the hell happened here? He tried to get up, but Alice pushed him down. Don't get up for a while. Your body is healing itself, but it'll take some time. The management has been informed. The help is on the way, so just rest for a while. She was trying to process the fact that Arnold had this self-healing ability. Okay, my head is spinning either way, he replied, laying back down. He looked at El and continued. Thanks for saving me. If it wasn't for you and your summons, we'd be dead right about now. El said, pointing at the B-ranked golem who was wielding the Reaper's scythe, standing next to him, and continued. He did most of the work. So the way I see it, I'm the one who should be thanking you. Thank you for your hard work. Arnold mumbled before recalling the summons. Soon the paramedics arrived at the scene and carefully carried Arnold outside. It seemed that the news about the dungeon room had leaked because a lot of people and reporters were waiting for them to come out. As soon as Arnold was rolled out of the dungeon on a stretcher, hundreds of cameras started clicking his pictures. Few people recognized him from the incident that happened a week ago and immediately started gossiping about him. Hey, isn't that the Porter guy from last week's coverage? Yeah, you're right. But what was someone like him doing inside the boss room? Maybe fame got to his head. Ha ha. He thought he could take the boss himself dash. Before the man could finish his sentence, EL grabbed him by his collar and pulled him out of the crowd. Be careful about what you say and where you say it. He let go of him and then looked at the others and shouted as loudly as he could. He saved my life. Give him the respect he deserves. Everyone was shocked by this. A porter saved a warrior? How is that even possible? But no one dared to question an enraged warrior, especially under the given situation. No one knew that Arnold wasn't a porter anymore, as his power level wasn't calculated yet, and hence he wasn't registered in the warrior index. Arnold was transported to the hospital asking with Alice and the guild manager, while the others weren't back to the guild. Next morning, how are you feeling today? The doctor asked, flipping through Arnold's medical records. Your healing ability is one of a kind. Nearly all of your wounds are healed after resting for one night. It's all thanks to the first aid expert, Alice. Arnold smiled back at him. Indeed, you'll be discharged in the evening, so rest up till then. Arnold opened the mission tab and accepted the rewards. Let's see what I got. Quest reward. You've gained 10,000 EXP. You leveled up. Current level, 30. Your rank has been increased to C. You've achieved a new rank. Rewards. All stats, plus 10. HP, plus 1,000. Mana, plus 700. You can view your stats in the main interface. You've gained a new ability. Demon Blitz, active ability. Only applicable when using artillery class weapon. A type of enhancement spell. It can only be activated when your weapon has the last bullet left it. After using this ability, your weapon will be able to fire infinite bullets for a short period. Each bullet will cause additional true damage up to 2% of the target's max HP. Duration of skill. 2 minutes can be increased by leveling up. Rank S. Mana cost. 250. Hidden quest reward. You've gained a new weapon blueprint. Vindicator. A heavy dual-wielding gun having explosive damage upon hitting your target. Handling this gun isn't child's play. Grade B. Damage. 115 to 126. Physical. Overload, 3 minutes. Cooldown, 15 seconds. Range, 40 meter. Ammo type, enchanted bullets. Magazine capacity, 30, 15 each. Weight, 2.3 kilograms. Additional skill, explosive shot. Deals additional 60% damage when the target is closer than 10 meter. Use the forge function to learn and convert the blueprint into weapon. What's this? Arnold saw a new tab next to the Forge tab. He selected the tab, and it was called as Modification. Inside the tab, there was a single blueprint called Swipe Shot, but it was grayed out. No details were given either. We tried to select it. A message popped up. Error. Level and rank requirements not met. Please increase your level before using this modification on your weapon. Level requirement. 65 plus. Not achieved. Rank requirement. B plus or above. Not achieved. Level 65. You gotta be kidding me. He nearly got killed and could only level up to 30, and this modification required him to be 65. More than twice his current level. So this was the second random reward for defeating the boss. But it looks like I won't be able to use this modification for a while. Good thing I've got my enhancement skill. At least I will be able to do some improvements to the weapons by using it. He then opened the Forge tab, and thankfully, Vindicator wasn't grayed. A detailed description of it was given there as well. He selected the blueprint, and the interface changed immediately and was replaced with a big blue circle with 3 black squares hovering around it, and below them was a list of different items. Items required to construct a Vindicator. Steel, 1.9 kilograms. Aluminum, 0.75 kilograms. 15 basic beast crystals. 1 red soul crystal. Only the items stored in the inventory can be used during the forging process. Some of the required items are available in shop. Important information. Basic grade enchanted bullets are available in the shop and can be bought after forging. Vindicator, underscore. You never informed me. I had an inventory, he exclaimed. I can find most of the materials like steel and aluminum easily in the guild's storage. Looks like I can't make the bullets myself for now, though there must be some kind of blueprint for it as well. The shop is the only way to obtain them for now. Basic beast crystals are easily available too. I even have 6 of these in my personal storage, and with the money I have, I can either buy the rest online or from the black market. The only thing is, I don't know where the hell I can find a red soul crystal. Red soul crystal can be obtained by slaying monsters having rank A or above. Arnold's face turned pale. He had defeated an A-ranked monster, so it must have dropped one of these crystals. The only problem was that it must have been picked up by someone like the other crystals, and most probably the person who picked it has already sold it to the guild or to someone else. As he was lost in the thought, Alice and El entered his hospital room. Alice was wearing a black tank top coupled with blue jeans, while El was wearing a red jacket over his white t-shirt and black ripped jeans. "Good morning, Arnold," Alice said cheerfully. "How are you feeling today?" "Oh, I'm good. The doctor informed me that I can leave in the evening." Arnold smiled back at her. "That was quick, considering the situation you were in." El said, "Guess I'm lucky after all. What are you carrying, by the way?" Arnold asked El. "Actually, it's something for you," he replied, handing Arnold the silver-colored spherical container. "The monster dropped it after we defeated it, so I picked it up." Arnold opened the container and saw something red inside it. He immediately used his probe skill on it. Object, red soul crystal. Type, beast crystal. Grade A. Remark, extremely rare beast crystal. Can only be obtained by killing a beast/monster of rank A or above. Important component in many weapons and armors. Consider it a gift for saving my life, and don't worry. The Vice President has no issues with you having it. Crystals like this are quite rare. You can earn quite a fortune if you auction it. El continued. "So what are you planning to do with it?" I think I'll keep it as a keepsake to remind me of my first dungeon experience as a warrior." Technically, Arnold wasn't lying. He'll use it to forge the Vindicator and planned on keeping it with him for a very long time. "A keepsake, huh?" El's mouth twitched. To him, it felt like he wasted a rare treasure by giving it someone who didn't care for the importance and the value of it. But he kept this to himself and carried on. "If you ever change your mind, just let me know. I know a guy who'll pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for it." $100,000. What he wouldn't be able to buy from that kind of money. He wouldn't even need to worry about Nicole's medication anymore either. But then he'll be able to earn the money by clearing the dungeons, and having a weapon would help him a lot. Both had their pros and cons. However, after thinking for a while, he decided he won't sell the crystal and make the weapon. After chatting for a while, El thanked him once again and left the room. "You're not leaving?" Arnold asked Alice. She shook her head and replied, "Dad told me to help you get your stuff into your new apartment. A car is waiting for us outside. I'll just go and ask the doctor if you can leave now." "Thanks, but really you should go. There's not much stuff for me to carry either way. No matter what you say, I'm coming with you, and that's final," she said with a pouted face. All right, I'll get ready," he smiled. An hour later. "And that's the last box," Arnold said, putting the last box of his belongings into his new apartment. "And here's the box of materials you wanted," Alice replied, handing the materials to him. "I'm still confused. Why do you need these? If you want a weapon, the guild can provide it to you." While he was collecting his things from his old shack, Arnold had asked Alice if she could get some steel and aluminum plates from the guild storage, to which she happily agreed and left. After arranging his belongings, he then went to Jacob and bought 9 basic beast crystals from him for $540. After the purchase, he headed towards the address Alice had given him. "Nothing special. Thanks for the help, though. Don't mention it. Since you're all set, I'll take your leave. See you tomorrow, bye." "Bye," Arnold replied, and closed the door and looked around. From the outside, the apartment looked lavish. It was built with brown bricks and had brown stone decorations. Many tall, rounded windows added to the overall style of the apartment. The apartment was equipped with an old-fashioned kitchen and 2 bathrooms, a small living room, 2 bedrooms, and a large dining room. The building was shaped like an L. The extension extended into a covered patio reaching until the end of that side of the apartment. The high and rounded roof was covered with brown wood shingles. One large chimney sat at the side of the house. All in all, it looked like a mansion when compared to his previous shack. He opened his inventory and placed the steel and aluminum inside the small black circle. He had already added the beast crystals, his ability books, and affinity scrolls to his inventory. After this, he opened the Forge tab, selected the Vindicator, Blueprint, and added the materials in their respective blocks, and started the forging process. Proceed to forge. Vindicator? Yes or no? Yes. Forging has been started. Estimated time to complete forging, 5 hours. You'll be notified once forging is completed. The crafted items would be stored in your inventory. After seeing the confirmation, Arnold went outside to finish his daily quest. Daily quests. Getting stronger 1. Introduction. You are undernourished. You need to consume more calories. Task. Consume food items to gain 3,000 calories. Progress. 3115/3,000 calories consumed. Getting stronger 2. Introduction. Your body has low resistance towards abnormalities. Increase your physical and mental resistance. Task. Exercise for 2 hours. Run 2 kilometers and stay in plank position for 5 minutes. Progress. Exercise duration in hours for halves. Running in km 4.52/3. Plank duration in minutes 6/5. Rewards for completion 50 EXP. 3 attribute points. 2 potential points. Claim. You can view your stats by opening the main interface. Claim. Arnold said, breathing heavily. Arnold didn't have anything else to do in the night, so he decided to go all out for the daily quest. He already had a lot of attribute points as well as potential points after defeating the dungeon boss. Completing the daily quest added more points for him to use, and he knew exactly what he'll do with all the points he had gathered. He had 63 attribute points and 32 potential points after completing the daily quest. He immediately leveled up his intelligence to 50, strength to 40, agility, accuracy, and stamina to 45, his evade to 36, and lastly, he increased his charm to 30. He could use the attribute points freely without worrying, but he cannot do the same with the potential points. Thanks to the fight with the rank A boss of the dungeon, he knew exactly which abilities he had to upgrade. He decided to upgrade the abilities which were the most useful to him in his previous battle, like Elemental Summoning, Frost Golem, Poseidon's Blessing, and Enhancement were all upgraded to level 5. At this time, a new notification popped up on the interface. You've unlocked 3 bonus effects. Elemental Summoning, Frost Golem. All stats of summoned golems increased by 12%. Poseidon's Blessing. Your HP will now increase by 250 points after leveling up. Enhancement. Probability of permanent enhancement increased by 7%. What the hell? He was flabbergasted. What else are you hiding from me, System Sama? He wanted to level up more abilities and unlock more bonus effects, but potential points were hard to come by, and leveling up one ability from level 1 to level 5 required 10 potential points, while it required 4 potential points to upgrade a level 4 ability to level 5. Although he could gain some potential points by doing the daily quest, the amount of points gained by this was minuscule. The only efficient way to get potential points was to level up faster, and that was a problem. After he ranked up to C, to level up by 1 level, he need 1,000 EXP, double the amount that was previously required. The only effective way to gain EXP was to clear a dungeon, but due to the incident in the last dungeon, his team was given some time off, and that included him. It essentially meant that they weren't allowed to enter any dungeon for some time. There was a way to back to the dungeon, but he highly doubted that someone as new as him would be allowed to do so. Thus, he dropped the idea. As he was planning his next move, another system message popped open. Underscore, 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 Vindicator has been crafted successfully. The item has been stored in your inventory. Underscore, 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 right on time, he said as he opened the inventory and took out the Vindicator. He then used his probe skill on it. Underscore, 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 object, Vindicator, type, weapon, grade B. Remark. These very large, semi-automatic dual pistol is an extraordinary model amongst gunslingers who actively look for a little extra protection. It's fairly heavy weight, makes it usable as a club too. It has a great amount of firepower with extraordinary precision. Expand to see the stats. Important information. No suitable ammunition found in the inventory. Please proceed to buy some from the shop. Underscore, 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 underscore. I totally forgot about the bullets. He opened the shop tab and started looking through it. The shop's interface was huge and had innumerable items, gears, potions, and different types of knowledge as well. Although most of them were grayed out, meaning he wasn't able to purchase them. He looked at the potions. There were some general potions such as HP potion, graded into small, medium, and high, and mana potion, small, medium, and high. There were another potions as well, like affinity booster, ability booster, attribute booster, and even a potential booster, but apart from HP potion and mana potion, the rest of them were grayed out. There were various types of gears as well, but sadly all of them were grayed. In the knowledge section, so far only a single item was present, named as Basic Shooting Skill. Arnold selected the skill knowledge. Basic shooting skill. The basic knowledge required by gunslingers to be able to use artillery weapons. Acquiring this knowledge would reduce the recoil caused by the guns. Buying this knowledge also unlocks the ability Quick Shot. Quick Shot, passive ability, basic ability for Gunslinger class. This ability increases the magazine capacity as well as shooting speed by 15%. Rank B. Price, 3 basic crystals. The amount would be automatically deducted from your inventory after purchase. Underscore, 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 underscore. After seeing the price, Arnold immediately searched the shop for bullets for Vindicator. According to the description, Vindicator needed to be used with basic enchanted bullets, so he selected them. Underscore, 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 underscore. Basic enchanted bullet. Description. These are the basic tier bullets that are required to be used by gunslingers. These are the cheapest set of bullets, but will get the job done. Price. 10 bullets / per basic beast crystal. The amount would be automatically deducted from your inventory after purchase. Underscore, 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 underscore. I need beast crystals to purchase anything from the shop. Arnold gritted his teeth. Although he could buy basic beast crystals from the guild or the black market, he didn't want to unnecessarily waste his money on something like beast crystals. Tomorrow I'll ask the vice president about it. And if he refused, then I'll go behind their backs and do it either way. It was getting late, so he headed towards the bed to get some sleep. Tomorrow was a big day after all. Next morning, at the vice president's office. I'm sorry, but the vice president is in a meeting right now. I can't allow you to go inside. You'll have to wait if you want to talk to him. Maya said with her usual robot-like voice. I have an even better idea. Why do you go to the PRSD department? Your abilities haven't been registered, have they? No, I haven't, Arnold replied. Perfect. I'll book an appointment right now. You can return after you've been registered, and the meeting would be over by then as well. Thank you. I'll go there now. The first thing Arnold wanted to do was to talk to John about the dungeon issue and see if he could help. But then he got his weekly paycheck, so he decided to head to the hospital and buy another dose of Andrea medicine for Nicole first. I'll just go and get graded first then. It's not like John's going to run away from the guild. He left the guild and headed towards the West Coast area. The West Coast was a crowded civilian area, filled with buildings and all kinds of pollution pipes, forming the complex streets. Only the people who had lived there for more than a year could remember the roads. The usual people would lose their way after a few turns. Mostly they were considered corporate slums. The living conditions of people wasn't good. There were frequent blackouts. The quality of water was really bad as well. When he first came to Florida, Arnold always wondered if the Western Coast was so poor then why were most of the companies located here? He got to know the answer as he started living here. The reason was because of cheap labor. As the living condition of people here was bad, thus they readily agreed to work for these companies even at wages less than the minimum amount. He felt a weird connection to this place. Maybe it was because he too had been living the same life as them. I'll definitely make their lives better. He made a mental note of this as he was walking through the streets. After walking for another couple of minutes, he finally stopped in front of a 10-story tall building. The building looked impressive and was made with white bricks having blue stone decorations at regular intervals. Tall, rectangular windows brightened up the building. The building had fairly rounded shape and was surrounded by a well-kept garden. Grass, flower patches, and trees were placed all around the building in a stylish way. He entered the building, and after filling the registration form, he was guided to the testing room. The room was entirely empty, if not for a huge black cube that was floating in the middle of it. A couple of computers were attached to this cube. 3 technicians were operating the computers. Just place your hands on the cube. The cube will absorb your powers, and then the computers will analyze your level, rank, and potential. You might feel weak when the process is completed, but it'll pass away after a while. One of the technicians explained it to Arnold, but he already knew about the process as he had already gone through all this once before. Arnold walked up to the cube and placed his hands on it. Underscore, 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 underscore. You're in contact with Mithril Cube. The cube is trying to measure your power. Please select the amount of power you want to allow the cube to measure. Underscore, 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 underscore. Then a meter popped up in front of his interface. What do you mean select the amount of power? I always go all out. Arnold thought and raised the meter to the maximum. A second later, the cube started vibrating. Arnold felt a couple jolts, but it was bearable. Soon a small chunk of the cube broke off and fell near his feet, and the power of the whole building went out. He picked up the fallen piece of cube and looked at the technicians who were bunched up together near one of the computers. Lesson learnt. Never go all out, Arnold murmured after realizing what had happened there. But then a couple of more messages popped up. Underscore, 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 underscore. You've leveled up. Current level 31. Underscore, 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 underscore. Underscore, 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 underscore. You've leveled up. Current level 32. underscore 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 underscore. What the hell? Did I just absorb the power that was inside this small piece of mithril cube? He curiously looked at the cube. He then quickly looked around to check if someone was looking at him. After confirming that no one was, he quickly opened the inventory behind his back and placed the piece of cube inside it. At this moment, one of the technicians cleared his throat and walked towards Arnold. AHM, we have sent your report to your guild. A car is waiting for you outside, which will take you there. The vice president has sent his personal chauffeur to pick you up. You'll be given your report there. Thank you for visiting us. That's weird. Aren't you guys supposed to tell me the results? That is what generally happens, but your case is special, and thus we can't do so. The technician replied, What special case? I'm afraid we can't tell you. Arnold finally gave up and headed towards the entrance, where a black limousine was waiting for him. I take you the one Mr. Vice President sent to fetch me? Arnold asked the smartly dressed man standing in front of the car. Indeed I am. Please be seated, the chauffeur said and opened the gate. Somewhere else. Sir, we have finally found a match. A man in white robes ran inside a room. The organs are 94% compatible. We can proceed with the plan now. Who is it? A voice came out of the darkness. A Chinese immigrant named Nicole Ling. She has no backing from any of the 12 families. She's affected with Andrea disease, so it wouldn't be difficult to harvest her organs, the man in robes replied. Finally, the man in shadow whispered, walking to a life pod filled with some kind of blue liquid. Finally, you'll live again, my dear son. As soon as Arnold got out of the car, he was immediately rushed to the vice president's office, where John was waiting for him along with 3 other people like the guild's manager, vice president's assistant, Maya, and Jake Skylander, the leader of the guild's main team. Come in and have a seat first, before we get into details, John said, waving his hands. Now that everyone is settled down, I assume you haven't seen your test results, right? Yeah, I haven't. The technicians told me that I was a special case and my guild would be the one to inform me about it. Arnold nodded. Hearing this, Maya handed him a file. Arnold opened the file and saw a platinum card was inside the file. He picked up the card and carefully read what was written on it. Name, Arnold Ling. Guild, Flying Swords. Team, C. Role Mage. Affinity, Ice and Earth. Rank, C. Level, 30. Potential. Error occurred while measuring potential. This was his warrior's registration card and had the PRSD insignia on it. The card stated that he was a level 30 because he leveled up by 2 levels after the computers had analyzed his data. The PRSD department had sent the card directly to the guild. Everything was pretty much normal in it, except the potential part. Generally, the potential of a warrior informed the others about the highest rank the warrior in question would be able to achieve in his lifetime. The rating only went up to S rank. If the measured potential was above S rank, then the system issued an error message like the one shown on Arnold's card. After seeing the card, he immediately knew why he was called to the guild. I guess you have an idea about why you were called here? John asked. Arnold nodded. He knew that, with his powers, he'd be able to get to this point sooner or later, but it all was happening way too soon. After a brief pause, John continued. It's my pleasure to inform you that you have been promoted to team. Maya will inform you about your new privileges later. But first, I want you to meet your new team leader and the guild's ace, Jake Skylander. John waved his arms towards the man standing behind him. Jake walked out first. He was wearing a white t-shirt. His hands were behind his back, and his eyes were flickering with a deep light that looked like the starry sky. A natural pressure emanated from his body that sent shivers down Arnold's spines. This feeling became stronger as Jake walked closer. He stared at Arnold, and Arnold's legs felt soft like he was being stared at by a monster that was about to devour him. Actually, Jake had only looked at him casually. The pressure came from his far superior level. Jake extended his hands towards Arnold and said, Welcome to the team. Thank you. I'll look forward to working with you. He quickly replied. After a brief interaction, Jake bowed to the vice captain and left the room. Arnold immediately realized the power difference they had. After all, Jake was one of the few S-plus warriors the guild had. He had been personally trained by the president himself. The president only showed himself to the team and a couple of others like the vice president. The team comprised of the talents handpicked by the president himself, and this team worked directly under the president's authority. Questioning them was like questioning the president himself. This team was considered to be one of the best in the United States of America. It was an honor to be a part of this team. Seeing Arnold all excited about the venture, John decided to break yet another news to Arnold. Although I'd like to say that you can immediately join Jake's team, you can't. After all, the in the team's name stand for rank A. But even if you have the potential to surpass the A, you're still at rank C, and the president won't allow a rank C warrior to join his team. No need to be disheartened by it. I have a proposal. In your new contract, it states that you can work as a freelancer, meaning you can pick any job, team up with any guilds, and clear as many dungeons as you like. Though you'll have to pay a commission of 15% of your overall pay. This will give you tons of opportunity to rank up. I know it will take some time, but this is the fastest way to increase your rank for now. Unfortunately, I have to leave now, but Maya will tell you about your new privileges of being an unofficial member of Team A. After saying this, John took his blue suit and walked out of the office. The others followed his cue, leaving Arnold and Maya alone in the office. Arnold couldn't believe the luck he had. He wanted to talk with John to see if he could be allowed to work as a freelancer, but he didn't even have to say a word about it, and he was already given the chance to work as a freelancer, helping him to earn more money and get some beast crystals as well. Shall we talk about the other privileges then? Maya asked in her usual tone. Arnold smiled. Yes, please.